Throughout my whole entire life, family has been the most important thing to me. My grandmother lives across the street and has always been revealing little bits of information about her family life, my whole entire life. I decided to finally sit her down and capture her family story in a brief documentary.
My mother found out she was adopted at the age of 16 from her cousins. My father was, at the time, her fiancé was there. My mother was 16 and engaged. My mother gave back the ring. So my mother told my almost father that she couldn't marry him because she was considered a bastard because she was adopted. And my father told her he knew she was adopted. He's 11 years older than she was. His mother knew the doctor that was delivering this baby. And this is how it all started. So my grandmother, grandfather, they adopted my mother. She was, I think, 5 days old. And my grandparents divorced back in the late 30s, which at that time you didn't divorce. When she got married is the same time that my grandmother remarried. My grandfather remarried and had 2 girls. And I never knew it. Now my grandfather's girls, they knew when they were young, except I was never told. Never told. So I was thinking, growing up with the girls, they were my cousins, when actually they were my aunts. But when my mother had my brother and I, everybody was always invited to the house. My grandmother came. She couldn't have any kids. She came. My Uncle Irv, he didn't come out to Long Island very often. But my grandfather and Aunt Rose and the 2 girls, they came to my mother's. It was one big, happy family. We tried to research. I didn't have much luck with it, but a friend went into the internet and found more information. My mother's mother was 14, 15 years old when she had her, and she was her mother was the only child. And her parents divorced because found out that my mother's mother's mother remarried, and then took now in the census this girl moved with the mother and the stepfather. So in our minds, we think, we're not sure, that her biological father got her pregnant. And that's why the mother divorced and remarried and took the girl with him. But we don't know that. It would be so nice to know if my mother had brothers and sisters and had their families. I mean, this could have been a bigger family. But We have Roberta and Gracie, and they have a big family now, very big family. But it's just my brother and I. No, we have a few cousins on my father's side, but a lot of people are already gone. Nobody can tell us anything because they're all gone. We lived in the Bronx, and my grandfather helped my father build or fix the house there, and it was across the street from my grandmother. And back then, we didn't know we were poor. We played in the dirt. We didn't know. And my mother decided that we would move out to Long Island, and it was a potato farm at that time when the houses went up. And she had to go back to work. So they couldn't do it on my father's salary. I mean, when they first got married, he made $25 a week for the sanitation. I don't know how they lived on it, but they lived on it. So she worked in the schools and the cafeteria for years while we all were in high school. My brother and I were in high school. My mother, she's good. She loved gardening, which I guess I get from her. She was always digging in the dirt in the backyard. My father, he loved kids. He just would have a kid on his lap all the time. Neighborhood kids come over, play baseball with him, or just sit and talk. He loved my kids. He would come every day after work just to see them. Knows I'm glad I am where I am now. I get to see 5 grandchildren growing up, going to school, college, and little ones. We have one younger one who's still going through elementary school. I love it. Love talking to them, even if it's a text.
Even if I can't go back to meet the people who influenced her life, I am allowed to cherish every moment that I spend with her and my family. From spending endless hours at her house, to making pasta dinners with our family, we do it all, and it all comes from love.